You're not going to dishonor God. And you can trust that you can carry what He's placed in your hands. And it does not matter about what you have experienced, because God has put you through many tests to see where your heart would be, and you always chose Him, even throughout the mistakes and your shortcomings. Even when you blew up and you didn't handle it the best, you always held yourself accountable and did the right thing. So don't hold yourself to the mistakes that you've made along your journey. My whole life I've been scared of myself. I've been afraid of what God has placed in me. Felt as if it was too big. Got frustrated when I began to act on the things God was saying and I didn't know how to. So then I felt like I couldn't do it. It started to affirm that this was too big for me to carry. That it wasn't possible. Or at least not in the way I was trying it. Started to feel like, why can't I be confident in myself? Why can't I be confident to have this thing? Why do I keep questioning it? And I was just having a conversation with a friend, and God will give you revelation through conversations. That's why He says where two or more people meet. You can't be afraid to talk to people because you think maybe they're monitoring spirit or they might harm you, or you think everybody's against you because of what you've experienced. Use your discernment, of course, and don't give full vent to your heart to everybody, because God says that's foolish to do. So use your discernment and be wise in who you choose to speak to, but don't be so on guard all the time. You know when you're in good company, and you also know when you're oversharing. The way that you're going to be able to test that person and see if it's true or see who they are is by having some conversations and leaving out some details. Or saying, yeah, I'm living here, but really you're living somewhere else, just to see. Use your discernment, but you have to trust that you're in good hands, you're in good company, because you're with God. It's easy to get in your feelings and start thinking everything and everybody is against you. Everybody's a monitoring spirit. You can't trust nobody, especially because of past experiences. You have to step back out and first trust God. And second, trust that you'll make the right decision. Because when God gives you that warning, you're going to act on it. You're going to walk away. You're going to stop talking. Trust that you're not going to do the same thing that you did last time. Sometimes we hold ourselves to that mistake, to that season, so much so that we think we're going to keep making the same wrong choice. We're going to keep doing the same thing. So we hold ourselves in contempt. We hold ourselves in shame. So every time you get an opportunity to step up to the plate, you say, oh, I'm not worthy of that because of that season. It's not that season anymore. Apply the wisdom from that season and you can move forward different than the way that you came. Apply that wisdom from that season and you can move forward differently. You're capable of it. You're worthy of the call. I was having a conversation with a friend. And in that conversation, she asked me how I was. And I responded back, I'm blessed. I have no reason to complain. But I'm in a place of battling myself and all that I carry. And sometimes it makes me feel so defeated because I've tried so much to stand confident in what God has for me. But it always feels like I'm not doing it correctly. And shoot, even while I'm texting this, I know I have to accept that I'll never feel like I'm doing it correctly, because that would mean I wouldn't need God. So I'm blessed and embracing this walk while giving myself grace. How are you? Some of us are so afraid to have kids. We're so afraid to start a business. We're so afraid to move and just take that leap of faith because of our bank account or because of whatever the case may be. It feels as if we're not ready. Like, I'm not ready. I don't have what I need to be able to do that. I'm just not ready. You'll never be fully ready. You may never even feel fully confident. There will always be something that says, well, maybe you don't have enough. Maybe it's not going to work out. Maybe it's not time. Maybe you can't. There's always going to be something that's going to come up against you. It's adversity. It's natural nature. That's how this works. And once you accept that, you won't allow it to stop you. Because the trick of the enemy is to get you to believe that you can only move forward when that's not present. You can only move forward when you obtain this. You can only move forward when you have full confidence. You can only continue if this, that, or the third, and that's a lie. That's what's keeping you stagnant the most. And God is saying, trust me. Oh, ye of little faith, where is your trust at? I've done all these things for you and shown you who I am and how I operate, and you still don't believe, you of little faith. There was a man in the Bible who went up to Jesus and said, listen, help me with my unbelief. I know the areas where I believe, but in the areas where I don't believe, that's where I need help. You have to lean on God. Not just in this season, but in every season of your life. Not just in this week, but in this day. Not just in this day, but in this hour, every minute, every second. That's what's going to keep you. It is through God's Spirit to which things are done. If you're still in a place where you feel like that is cliche, you need to wake up. You haven't been spared as many times as you have been because of your own doing. I should have been dead. In jail. Strung out. In many places. I can visit my old neighborhoods and places that I've been and see what I was supposed to be. Just by looking at the environment and people I used to break bread with. You were supposed to be something else. According to adversity. According to your adversary. According to your enemy. According to God's enemy. Because that's really who adversity is coming up against, is God in you. You're supposed to bend something else. It was supposed to bend over for you. And yet here you still stand. God is with you. You cannot fail and nothing can stop you unless you want it to. And that's why you've been standing still for so long. And there's a difference between solitude and self-isolation. Sometimes because of fear, you keep yourself isolated because it just feels like it's too much and you don't know what to do. And you stepped up before and this happened, so you might as well just stay this way. That's isolation. That's going to drive you insane. Solitude is when you can stand in stillness and say, God, okay, cleanse me, wash me whole, make me new. What do you want me to do? Heal my heart. I need to forgive myself for this. I need to forgive that person for this and this, that, and the third. You'll go through a season to where your perspective will shift. But in order for it to, you have to be in solitude and stillness, which means you're not always busy. You're not always talking to somebody. It's okay for your phone to be dry. That season is necessary for you to become the new you, so that when you step out, even if God sends you back to a place that he called you out of, you won't return back the same. You won't operate as you used to. Does not matter what people say. Does not matter how they used to know you. It does not matter. You're not going to be the version of you that you once were. Fear will keep you stuck and stagnant. It'll keep you still. But not still in a way to where you're embracing the journey or the opportunity to heal. Still in overthinking, still in worrying, still in fear. Still in overcompensating and people pleasing, still in self-reliance and defiance, disobedience. When God is telling you to get up, come up higher, work on those gifts, speak life over yourself, pinpoint a routine for you. I'm not going to get what I want. And I'm okay with that. Because if me being absolutely sure and fully confident all the time is going to make me uppity to where I lose sight of God and I think I got it, I don't want it anyway. I felt like I had to have it all together for me to step out. And it was easy for me to lose sight of that because of my feelings, and also because I was holding myself to shame, because how could I have handled a season like that? So I felt as if I had to redeem myself in a way. So that meant I had to take on a state of perfectionism and become something that I was not. God's going to bless you with everything that you've been asking for, but he's going to exceed your expectations. And when he does, it's not for you to hide behind the blessing. It's not for you to lose sight of your humility. It's not for you to become self-reliant or self-sustained. It's just for you to have a resource and evidence of who God is. And he'll continue to provide for you in that way. I was going to be homeless in the matter of 3 days. Me and my sister. And I had just taken the biggest leap of faith with leaving something that I was unsure about leaving. For many reasons. And I left and I went back to I left and I went back. I went back to the place I felt like God was calling me out of. Really, that I stepped out of prematurely. In the moment I went back, we had 3 days to get out that place. And I said, God, there's no way I was just obedient to you, and you're going to allow me, and not only just me, my sister, to be homeless. This sounds outlandish. This is wild. This can't be you. I need you to do something about it. I'm not going to be homeless. I don't accept that. So what are you going to do about it? God told me exactly what to do. And I honored him, even while sometimes still questioning. But I honored him. And in the matter of 3 days, I had a place. And in the matter of an hour, I had the money for that place. You're not going to have everything you need while God is telling you to take these leaps. It's not going to be perfect. Adversity is going to come in the midst of that. That's guaranteed. But what is also guaranteed is victory. So take your leap and know that you won't always be fully confident. Fear will attempt to come with you, but it can't stay. The closer that you walk with God, the closer that you walk towards God, the closer that you take heed to what he is leading you towards, the more that you act on it, is the more that fear will become scared of you. It won't overtake you or lead you. Because you know what true confidence in God feels like. You've embodied that more than you've embodied fear. Your feelings were not always in line. But that does not mean God has lied to you. You are exactly who he says you are. You are exactly where you need to be. And you were born for such a time as this. So keep your head high and stay ready. So that you don't have to get ready because you might not be able to. And you want God's best. Not to settle for what you think is best for you. God exceeded my expectations. I used to go look at apartments and be like, my mouth on the floor. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is my dream apartment. I just can't, oh my gosh. It was beautiful. Apartments, I had never stepped in somewhere so luxury. Applied for apartments and got denied. And when it was God's turn to move me into the apartment he had for me, it made me question what I originally wanted. It changed my entire taste. It took me to a whole different level. Trust God. He's not a liar. Keep speaking life over yourself and telling those feelings. We not getting into all that. Give yourself grace on this journey. But remember who you are. Because you've always been that way. And when times got tough, when situations didn't work out, when you could have done people dirty, you held yourself accountable. You turned to God in prayer. You spoke peace and life over those people when you could have spoke death. And you did the right thing. Even when it was hard for you and you had to look yourself in the mirror, you held yourself accountable. Give yourself grace. Give yourself love. And remember who you are. As you continue on this walk, you're going to do the right thing because you always have. And you've corrected yourself when you were in the wrong. You chose God every time. You will continue to because you're his child and you know his voice and his way. So do not let that season of your life convince you that you're not going to do the right thing. So you're afraid to take up your mat and walk. You're afraid to take up your mantle. You're afraid to do what God has called you to do. You're afraid to stand in position because you are allowing shame. Do not allow those lies from that last season. Do not allow shame from that last season. Don't allow anything from that last season convince you that you're not equipped to carry what God has given you. Apply the wisdom. God's already given you it. But you have to reflect back and apply what you have learned and move forward with your head high in humility and grace and love and the fruits of the Spirit to know God's got you. You got this. It's in you, not on you. You've always been this way. God's been training you. Apply the wisdom, not the shame, not the heartbreak, not the anger. Forgive them people. Forgive yourself and move forward. Release that because it's making you mad with God. And you're going to remain in the same place wishing you would have did something different yesterday when you can do something different today. And it will change yesterday and tomorrow. Not only for you, but for others that are watching you. You're impactful. You have authority and you pack a lot of power. Because God goes before you, nobody can condemn you. So it does not matter how those people may perceive you or what they have to say. Stand in your truth. Put on the belt of truth. And stand in position. You came a long way. You a walking testimony in a walking vessel of change. Don't be ashamed of where you came from or what you came through. It's all a part of you. You can grow and you can elevate and still remember where you came from. It's all a part of the purpose, all a part of the plan. Okay? As always, I pray that you're leaving this video way better than you came. And I also pray to see you next time. And if I don't, I still wish you well. All the same. My name is Jasmine El Salih, and I will see you next video.